Let's get back to that fascinating hour and a half of television today. It was gripping stuff, the presidential debate. I thought Kamala Harris exceeded expectations by a long way. But let's check in with Kristin Tate in Boston for her view.
I mean, sure, she did. The media and the network that was hosting this debate was an absolute disgrace. The moderators were jumping in, fact-checking Trump and debating him right along with Kamala Harris. So the media bias was on full display, and Trump did not have his best night. He seemed like he had not prepared as much as Kamala had, and she was very successful at kind of jabbing him and irritating him. His demeanor really changed after she said that people left his rallies early because they got bored. You could see that really got him angry, and his whole tone kind of shifted after that moment. I suspect overall this debate won't move the needle too much, but because this race is just so tight, Chris, it could end up boosting Kamala by a couple of points, and in a race like this, that could make all the difference.
It could indeed. They'll be pretty happy with her performance, the Democrats. But in the way, there was no substance in it. And it was very clear from the first question that Kamala Harris was not there to answer questions, but just to deliver rehearsed lines, as we saw with this first question on the economy.
When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. And I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people.
Yeah, so there you go. That's Kamala Harris doesn't answer the question, of course, because Americans are not better off. And Trump had a pretty aggressive line on the economy.
We've had a terrible economy because inflation which is really known as a country buster. It breaks up countries. We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history.
There you go, Donald Trump. The economy surely is a big plus for him, Kristin.
Of course, he could have gone a lot further than that, though, Chris. The thing that was so frustrating watching this debate as a conservative was all of the missed opportunities by Trump. He could have really pushed her on the economy and painted pictures of struggling Americans who can't afford to feed their kids, who can't afford their homes. I mean, it's so impossible right now for an average American family to purchase a starter home. These are the specific things that Donald Trump should have been talking about. He should have had stats on the tip of his tongue, and it just seemed like he wasn't that well prepared. Kamala, of course, was lying the whole time about the economy and trying to distance herself or ignore the reality of the economy that's in shambles and the inflation, but she needed to be called out for that.
Yeah, I tell you what, he didn't really focus it down onto individuals so much as the whole country did, Donald Trump. But one thing that's hard for the rest of us in the rest of the world to understand is the passion and, I suppose, the crassness of the abortion debate in the US. Let's have a look at the way some of that played out.
They're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact.
Yeah, Kristin, every moment they talk about the abortion issue seems to be a good one for Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, she's very strong on this issue. However, Chris, the moderator jumped in there and tried to fact check Trump. Her fact check was actually incorrect. Trump was right with what he said. There are states where after, like Minnesota, where after the baby is born, that the doctor does not necessarily have to provide life-saving care for the baby if the baby was supposed to have been aborted. So that's what was so frustrating. Again and again, the moderators jumping in sometimes with incorrect fact checks. But yes, Kamala Harris is very passionate about abortion, and that is probably the strongest topic for her in this debate.
Yeah, there is no doubt at all that the moderators were biased. They fact-checked Donald Trump a number of times and never fact-checked Kamala Harris when she was running redundant lines. Let's go to immigration. Donald Trump came back to it time and time again, and he focused boldly on an issue that's been really building on social media in the past few days, and that is accusations that Haitian immigrants have been killing ducks and cats and dogs to eat them. Here's Donald Trump.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from television.
But the people on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris, I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
Well, Kristin, she laughs it off, but I imagine there's going to be a lot of reporting on this issue in the days to come.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump was debating 3 people there. And how infuriating, Chris, that Kamala Harris is standing there laughing hysterically while talking about immigration and our country being destroyed by millions of immigrants coming into this country under her and Joe Biden's administration. Again, not to be a broken record, but Trump could have gone a lot further. It was a missed opportunity to point out the fact that more than 10 million illegal immigrants have been ushered into this country by the Biden-Harris administration, more than the population of many large cities in this country, and it is having a drastic impact on the culture of this country and the economy of this country, by the way. People are being killed from crime. Our hospitals, our schools are overflooded. Trump should have painted many more pictures, but Kamala's reaction to that was absolutely inappropriate.